Hey there, everyone. I am Katherine Ephlin. I am the Managing Director, North America at Human8, and I am so excited to be here today alongside a true legend in the world of customer centricity and customer experience, Shep Hyken. So, as many of us can relate to these days, there is a lot of chaos out there right now. And it's, things from politics, the economy, spending, technology, just life in general. There is a lot going on. And so at Human8, we've been cooking up some really interesting research to understand and unearth some interesting insights about what customers think about this. So let's turn to Shep. And for those of you who don't know Shep, although I'm guessing most of you do, he is a powerhouse when it comes to customer centricity and customer-centric culture. He's worked with some of the biggest brand names out there. His presentations are simply amazing. And we brought him here today to chat through our research and get his pulse on what we found. And so I am so excited to hear what you have to say, Shep.
Well, thank you very much. And that is a very flattering introduction. Very, very nice. Thank you. So I hope I can live up to that. That's my goal today.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be hitting you with zingers, but I think there's some really interesting things that we're seeing out there that I'm just interested to hear your opinion on. So, for example, with the research we just did here at Human8, we've shown that customers are really mixed in terms of what they think is going to happen the next 6-12 months. 53% say they have optimism and calm, but at the same time, 43% are saying, I'm anxious and I'm fearful. And so you've talked about the importance of confidence for customers as it relates to them wanting to do business with a company. So given this emotional landscape, what can brands do to effectively engage and address customers?
Sure. So I'm going to give you a real simple, common sense, really, it's that easy kind of an answer. And then I'm going to dig down a little deeper. Okay. First of all, you're right. There's some turmoil. Some people are very optimistic. You said 53%, which means there's 47% that say they're not optimistic. And I believe you said 40 some odd percent of those folks are very concerned. As a brand, any type of business, and by the way, if it's on the B2C side or the B2B side, I don't really care because there's something we need to create, and that is confidence. And confidence in doing business with us. We want our clients and customers and guests and patients or whatever you call your customer to say, I love doing business with them. They always, and then when you fill in the blank with what comes after the word always, it's something positive. So they're always so knowledgeable. They're always getting back to me quickly. So in a world of turmoil, and I'll call it that, there's chaos. We aren't sure about what the economy is looking like. It's up one day. It's concern about the next. Are they going to lower interest rates here in the U.S.? Is something international going to impact us? The election, it's crazy. So with all of that, why give customers any stress at all? Make it easy. So even when there's a problem, I can always count on them. So there's that word always. So I'm going to give you an idea that is simply what customers want, most customers, and that is this. Just be nice. Doesn't that sound ridiculous? It sounds so common sense, but unfortunately, it's not always so common. We might hire friendly people, but they really need to engage at a different level. If they're even a little bit introverted, they need to smile more. They need to interact with simple interactions. You don't have to have deep conversations with customers, but head nods and friendly commentary along the way is so important. I jokingly say the shortest speech I ever gave was one where I said 2 words. And there's a reason why. I had a 40-minute speech plan, and because the client's earlier speakers went over time, I was left with 2 minutes. And I said, I've got a message. It's even less than 2 minutes. Be nice. And of course, I've written 6 or 7 books, actually 8 total, but specifically, be nice is in all of them. And that is the number one reason customers come back. They want nice people to treat them right with respect, and they want knowledgeable people to do business with. So when you combine knowledge and being nice or friendly, and you add a level of convenience and no friction, you've got a winning combination.
Yeah, that is so true. And I think it's important as leaders that we recognize that our employees need the same thing, right? It's hard for them to be nice to our customers if we are not showing them the same. So it is such a full circle kind of thing.
Yeah, the EX is the beginning of the CX. That's the
Yep.
employee experience. And I talk about this thing I refer to as the employee golden rule. And we know the golden rule growing up, do unto others as you want done unto yourself. Well, the employee golden rule is kind of an offshoot. Do unto employees as you want done unto your customers. And in
Yep.
some cases, maybe even better because you set the tone on the inside for what's to follow.
Yeah, I think that is so dead on and something that we really believe in. And I think it actually feels good to do it too. So you had just mentioned this idea of making it easy. So one of the things we found in our research is that 54% of consumers prioritize brands that actually show that they value their time. And this idea of transparency. So 49% say that, transparency is so important. So as we think about valuing people's time, making it easier, making things transparent and authentic too, right? That's something you talk quite a bit about. What are some practical steps that companies can take to demonstrate that we believe in this too, and we want to provide that for you?
Sure. I'm sure most of us have called the company for some type of customer support, and we're on hold for an exorbitant amount of time. And maybe it's just seems longer than it is, but it's long enough that it irritates us. That is a disrespectful, showing a disrespect of time. And when the response, the recorded response is your call is very important to us, but we're experiencing a high call volume. And then they don't tell me how long my wait time is going to be, and it ends up being 15 or 20 minutes. I'm frustrated. However, tell me it's going to be that long and give me an option maybe of having a call back. And now it's like, I appreciate you. Knowledge is so important. We want to give the customer information, how long they're going to have to wait. If I leave a message, if I email you in and 3 days later, you get me back the information I asked for. Well, if I wanted the information in 3 days, I would have asked for it in 3 days. But, and recognize this, every channel has a different expectation. So if I call you and you put me on hold for 3 minutes, I'm probably going to be really, really happy. If you put me on hold for 30 minutes, not so happy. If I email you and you get back to me in an hour, I'm going to think, wow, this company's great. If you get back to me in 5 hours, I'm going to probably be a little frustrated. Does that make sense? So there's different expectations in different channels, and we need to be aware of that. If we're doing chat, and chat is a great opportunity to more or less digitally self-serve our customers. And I'm specifically talking about chat bots. But the chat bot needs to be smart enough to move the customer over to a live agent when necessary on a clean, for lack of a better term, omni-channel experience where the customer doesn't have to start over again. And they don't also have to wait, again, a long period of time to talk to that live agent. What we're trying to do is show the customer we want to get the information to you, whether it's a question, a problem, a complaint, a concern, or I'm just have interest in learning more about your product. We want to show them that we care about you, we respect your time, and we want to give you the information you want. That's what customers want.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you sort of in relation to that, and you started to hit at the end. I was reading something you were writing about with AI and how you need to make sure that's augmenting your experiences. You sort of went there. Is there anything else that we should be thinking about, knowing that it's such a hot topic right now?
Right. Well, augmenting versus completely replacing the human experience. There have been companies out there that think that they can get away with this, and some of them might be able to. But even Amazon, which is a complete digital experience from the time you think about buying something, researching it, comparing prices, Amazon even lets you know what the prices are. At the end of the day, if you need to talk to somebody, they're going to take you through a process that starts you out digitally. And if it gets to where you can't handle it on the digital experience that they've created, which, by the way, is very good, they'll say, what's your phone number? We'll call you. And about the time you put it in and hit the button send, the phone's ringing. And you seldom have to wait more than just a moment or two for that to happen. That's an incredible digital experience. Now, not all companies can do that. And maybe they don't have the, it's not all that expensive to do it anymore. But it is still, sometimes it's a burden from the standpoint of a little bit of an investment. But then there's also the investment of time and the effort of making the change. But we need to recognize and by the way, I may be going off track on this, but our customers want and expect us to be there for them. And if we go down the digital road and it's not working, we need to respect them and give them the backup plan, which is human to human. And it's the balance between the two which makes the company loved. You don't need to be extreme one way or the other. You just need to have a balance. And you know what the right balance is based on your company and your industry.
Yeah. Shep, given everything we've talked about and, with all the chaos in our industry, what do you see as the single biggest threat to brands when it comes to centricity, human centricity, and building just truly human-centered experiences?
Sure. Well, I want to make sure I heard that question right. What is and then you cut out for just a moment.
The biggest threat.
The biggest threat. Oh, got it. The biggest threat to brands is not meeting the current customer's expectations. And the way to start with that is look from the outside in. What is the end game? What's the end result? And look from that. And by the way, the end result has to be what your customers want. All right. So learn from your customers, listen to your customers. When you start to make decisions, every decision must keep the customer in mind. That's what customer centricity is even if it's not the decision that's going to make the customer happy, you understand why you're doing it. You understand what the outcome is going to be. The most simple example, we're going to raise prices. Nobody wants anybody to raise prices. They don't want to pay more for something. But if you give me a good reason as to why, give you a great example. I was doing some work with a client. They had a manufacturing company, and they manufactured a product that was sold direct to consumer. And this was during a time where there was tariffs for all product coming in from out of the country. So their manufacturing costs went up. They were extremely transparent with their customers. They did not lose one, their growth continued. No sales were lost due to a raise in price because of transparency. We need to take that approach. Every decision we make needs to have the customer in mind. Transparency becomes important if we're making decisions that customers won't like. So let them know why the decision was made. And, just be a customer-focused or customer-centric company.
Yeah, I love that because it really gives us as brands the opportunity to, we actually do have control in this world of chaos to provide that consistency and confidence for customers. And it's something we can do to help cut through the chaos. And it gives you a point of hope, right?
Yeah. And listen to what they're saying to you. They're going to give you feedback. You should be asking for feedback if they're not giving it to you. But you're going to get the feedback. Your people on the front line that are directly interacting with customers have incredible amounts of knowledge about the issues they are having with your product, the issues they're having in general, because they're, if we've trained our people well, they're going to be empathetic and sympathetic and understanding. Well, let's take what we're learning from the customers and make sure we're baking it into the process and the experience that we want to create for them.
Yeah, that's just fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Shep. I really, really appreciate it.
My pleasure. And I look forward to the next time.